Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Tuesday, the 17th of November, 2015. So we're in the last 6 or so weeks of the year. Here's a look at the ES front-month futures contract. This is the S&P E-mini contract. You can see the red static trend line of the 9-bar move up. That gave us the top 2 weeks ago, and we came down on Friday and hit that, and now we've bounced a little bit. We had an interesting session post the attacks in France over the weekend. Basically, gap down a very small amount, came up and filled the gap, headed a little bit towards the lows of the day, and then just kind of stalled out, had light volume and nothing much going on, and then turned back up and climbed for the rest of the session over lunch and closed at highs of the day, covering better than average daily range, but on 1.6 billion shares. So let's go through everything and see where we're at. There's no new signals here on the actual futures contracts. So here's the S&P, this is gold, was up $1.40 for the session. Let's take a quick look at oil also, up just 15 cents at 41.90, hanging near the lows really. The S&P cash index gained 30, as I said, pretty much just rallied all day. The NDX, that's the NASDAQ 100, gained 63. SOX was up 8 for the session, has not yet gotten back to that red static trend line. Biotech index up 10.84. Got the VIX down 1.92, retreating a little bit. Interesting that the VIX was on the rise late last week, ahead of the terrorist attacks. Settling back here now. The trend got a very low close at 0.49. That puts the 10-day moving average at 1.17, which is not really an indicator. As I said, volume was 1.65 billion. It's lighter than all but one day last week. So we had a late start to the week from that perspective. Advanced declines on both sides were positive. On the NASDAQ, it was plus 718. That means 718, the more stocks up than down. New York was plus 1398, which is a pretty strong, one of the strongest we've had in weeks on the New York side. Google gained $10.35, coming back within striking distance of recent highs. Apple continues to struggle, down for the last 8 months, but really in a very narrow range. Amazon up $5.46, again, like Google, pushing up. Remember, these stocks that are up a lot for the year, we're at that point in time now where nobody wants to sell these things and lock in a big gain. Tends to let these stocks go higher into the close of the year. Netflix is forming a cup and handle. If it breaks out of this, I think it will have an interesting run in it. All right, let's look at the intraday action just so you can see what we got here to start the week on Monday. Again, little gap down, filled it and went higher, and then just flattened out. I mean, within 15 minutes, we had the high of the morning and just flattened out into a miserable range. Volume was weak. We had a volume warning, and that held until just after noon Eastern time, so 2.5 hours in, and then the market took out the highs of that and just a slow but steady, no major move. It wasn't shooting stocks, propelling them higher, but just buying across the board steadily and closed near the highs of the day. And if you look at the NASDAQ side, almost identical. So a lot of program trading from that perspective. I don't know if that's a positive per se, but in terms of the day, the easier trading was certainly on the long side. So what do we look at for coming up here on Tuesday? We've got the CPI before the bell. That's a big number. That can move the market. We've got industrial production and capacity utilization 15 minutes before the bell. We've got the NAHB housing market index 30 minutes in, and then net long-term tick flows at the close. We still have housing starts, building permits, the minutes from the last Fed meeting, Philly Fed leading indicators, and a few other numbers later on this week. It is a straightforward trading week before we head into the Thanksgiving holiday week. So we hope to see a little bit better volume, a little bit stronger price action either way. We did have a good morning, though, from a trading perspective. Futures locked in a 40-tick winner on the opening range plays, and the stocks had several stocks that worked very well for us in the morning. So all in all, nothing to complain about. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. If you do find these videos useful, please like them on YouTube. It does help us out. Have a great trading Tuesday.